Hi, welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and these are some of my friends. Hi, Theta,
Hello, everyone.
and Body Mechanic,
Hello out there in TV land.
and we're back here again on Friday evening, and we are going to be sharing about diabetes today. Yeah, diabetes, right? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
diabetes. Sugar
So-
Called
too.
sugar.
Right. Now, I'm glad you all came back this week. We had a phenomenal show last week. We talked about HIV. And if you missed it, you need to go back and check it out because it was real good. It had so much good information. So this is going to be another good show. You know, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Most definitely.
Excellent.
Anytime
excellent.
we're talking about sugar, it's got to be sweet.
Well, sugar is so important right now. So many people are suffering with diabetes. It's kind of crazy. There's kind of a couple different types of diabetes right now, type 1 and type 2. And it's just sad that so many of our people, they say it strikes so many of people, African American, Native American. It's the same probably demographics as most of the people out there that are suffering with certain types of diseases. You know, it's like, it's why? So it's because of what? Food and environments and so many different things that
Food, environment, and also stress.
Yeah.
yeah,
And what you do, your lifestyle.
yeah, lifestyle,
Stress.
your family, genetics, who knows? It's so many things. And actually, they say that a lot of times diabetes actually will be because of genetics. But then you say, maybe it's not really genetics. It's just how you were brought up and how you're eating and like your lifestyle.
Right.
So,
Well, I think that one of the things that happens when we go see a doctor is that the first thing they ask us is about our family history, because one thing that's common is the foods that we ate, the environments that we lived in. But more importantly, it's like the foods that we eat. But they don't ask you about that. What they'll say is that, what's your family history? Is diabetes in your family? Is there hypertension? Because 9 out of 10, you eat the same way, so you'll have the same type of condition.
yeah.
So,
This is true. This is true. Well, I know we just jumped right into it, but usually we talk a little bit, but these folks have been here before, so it's not really like we have to go.
that's what friends are for.
Yeah, cool. I'm like, wow.
The good time.
Sorry. Well, the thing is, we usually have a few more folks, but I think because of the holiday,
What holiday?
Well, I think it's a Halloween thing.
Halloween?
Or something like that.
Holiday means
Yeah.
holy day. It's not really a holy day.
Well, no. But it is
holy?
what it is. I was like, okay, so they're all going out there to have some sugar and probably get some more diabetes.
That's exactly what I call it. I call Halloween, I call it the crack holiday.
Oh my gosh,
It is.
we really don't. We take our kids out and we say trick or treat, and they give them treats, and the treats are all compounded by all this sugar that's so addictive, and it's making our people just sick.
Well, not only that, and there's different kinds of sugar.
Yes, and what, the candies? What are the candies made of?
Well, there's sugar from sugar cane, which is refined into white, molasses, brown, all those things. The body still
Stevia.
processes it as sugar. It doesn't make a difference whether it's brown or pretty. At the end of the day, if it doesn't have fiber, it is refined sugar.
Yeah.
And the body doesn't recognize it.
And what happens to your body when it doesn't recognize it? Starts having a autoimmune
Disorder.
disorder. Well, actually, it starts to defend itself. So it's going to start defending itself
seems
and,
like
and create a autoimmune
like it's a foreign
response.
body.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so then it overacts and then causes disease.
Well,
Basically, a disease means that your body is no longer at ease. 'Cause it's
right,
dis-ease.
dis-ease.
Yeah.
So you have to put your body back at ease. If you're able to do that with your lifestyle, with what you eat and what you take in.
Right.
So you can bring your body back at ease.
Right. Well, the problem is, but if you don't realize that you're doing something horrible to your body, then you just continue having your disease.
Well, But what's interesting, I mean, there are carbohydrates and sugars in vegetables also, but a
Right.
very small amount.
Right.
But along with the vegetables are fiber and other things that slow down the absorption rate of sugar.
Right.
When we just never had, hundreds of years ago, we did not have refined sugar. So when you ingest it, I mean, let's just talk about cane sugar. When you ingest it and your glucose level goes above a certain level, your body has to produce a hormone that allows the cells to utilize the excess sugar and bring the level down, right? I guess, what's that number for glucose levels?
About
110,
100.
Is it
120?
100?
Yeah.
Something like
Between
that?
80 and
that?
110, right?
Right,
If
right.
you go above that, you have like you're drunk, like your body can't control itself, and if it's too low, the same thing happens
Right.
for brain function, because you need a certain
Well-
amount of glucose in your body for brain function, because the brain is always functioning.
Well, your body actually needs sugar.
Right.
Okay, to run
It's
your
fuel.
ATP. Is
Right.
it's
Right, it's part
the
of
building
Krebs-
part.
it's part of
Yeah,
Krebs cycle.
exactly. So it's all about your body needs it, but it's certain types of sugar. So you have to have a certain type of sugar in order for your body to really run more efficient. So if it doesn't have that proper fuel, it's going to cause really big.
Yeah,
challenges.
things are going to shut down.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't understand about the sugar paradigm is that the body does not need to ingest sugar to produce glucose or glycogen. Actually, your body can mobilize fat and protein, and they could be produced based on that. The body can actually break them down to the smallest components.
Yeah.
You do not need to ingest any sugar at all.
Right.
And that's one thing that most people don't understand. They think that they need to eat it.
Well, they say that actually when you read all these, nutritional values and what have you, they don't have any daily allotment for sugar.
Well, that's a whole
It
nother.
doesn't say
That's a
that.
whole nother. That's another chapter because the sugar industry is such powerful lobbyists. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, there was a document that was produced about 18 months ago, and the
It's about
World
Fed Up?
Health Organization. Huh?
It's about Fed Up?
No.
No.
No, it's not in Fed Up. It was in the. I saw it. There's a couple other documents that I was reading that came across this, and because they want to hold the sugar industry liable for what the side effects are of consuming copious amounts of sugar. Just like the nicotine industry was sued, right,
Exactly.
for billions of dollars. Diabetes is causing more pathologies than any other substance known to man. And the lobbyists and the sugar industry is so powerful, they threatened to withdraw $500 million in funding to the World Health Organization if they put this article out that was going to talk about having limits on sugar.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
all
Wow.
about the dough.
Yes.
Well,
That's
it's
fine.
always
And sugar,
the
no
bottom
more.
line.
Yeah.
It's always
Right.
been about the bottom
Right.
line, and that's about making money. And
It's all about the dough,
Unfortunately-
right? And we're the guinea pigs.
yeah, unfortunately, that's what it is. But in terms of what's going on with people and this diabetes thing, and not really have that education and that awareness of why they have this pre-diabetes or diabetes type 1 and type 2, and all of a sudden they don't even have any history about diabetes, and now all of a sudden they have diabetes. So what is going on with our bodies? Why are people, so many millions of people in the United States, mostly the Western culture, opposed to you go out to China or you go over to Japan, and all those folks, they don't really suffer like we do.
But they're
with
actually
the diabetes.
coming. They have started adopting the Western diet.
Right.
They're-
Yeah.
In Central and South America, there's a pandemic of diabetes also now.
Mm, yeah.
That's been happening in the last
Yeah.
15 years. These soda companies are targeting them.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I went to Honduras, I saw a young person with like a 3-liter Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
3 liter. It was like as big as the child.
Wow.
And I mean, so I think what you're saying is this, like, people are not understanding what's on the label. They're not taking the time to read what's on labels.
Mm.
And because there's no value, and you don't understand basic chemistry, what's happening,
Yeah, well, they do have the numbers there, so you know that there's sugar there. You know that carbohydrates are there, but you don't know what there's no nutritional value, so they can't put a value to it at that point. So you have what vitamin C, vitamin D. You have all these different things that are nutritionally valued, and you have a certain percentage of those things in a particular item. but you don't have, you have a certain amount of fiber, you have certain
Right.
amount of
But there's
different
no
things.
nutrition in
There's
sugar
no
anyway.
nutritional
There
value
is none.
whatsoever.
There is none. And there's no
Exactly.
daily allowance. This is what this article is about, talking about the daily allowance.
Right, right.
Because what happens is the average person can consume 5 to 9 grams of sugar a day. But that's a safe range. But they're consuming 10
Much
times
higher.
that amount. And like right, and one of the indicators was like if a child drinks 1 soda a day, a child, that's equivalent to consuming 50 pounds of sugar per annum. 1 soda a day. 1 can of soda has 14 teaspoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3, 14. Like people,
Basically, even when you do drink soda, it stops your immune system.
it suppresses your immune, it
Yeah,
suppresses your liver
so,
function.
so there you have the sugar, which is not good for you, and then your immune system is being suppressed. So you're unable to fight off whatever is being attacking of your body. And if you're a little child, which your immune system isn't completely developed yet, so we're like killing off our children at an early age, and it may be that our children be the first generation that do not outlive our parents, which is very, very
Which is happening.
Which is happening. Also, what you said before, just to piggyback on the labels, if your label has more than a lot of stuff that you can't read, you shouldn't be eating it. Or
If you can't pronounce,
if you can't pronounce it,
if you can't
what's-
pronounce what the ingredients is,
you shouldn't be
9
eating
out of
it.
10 your body's not going to know what it is.
Right, exactly.
So, what is diabetes really? So we said there's 2 types. So you have diabetes 1, and then you have diabetes 2. What diabetes 1 is what, juvenile diabetes?
Juvenile diabetes, or it is a condition when the pancreas no longer produces a glucose-lowering hormone called insulin.
Right, and that's with those beta cells. And
Beta 1 cells in the pancreas produces insulin. Right.
and they get decreased and immobilized, and then you
Well,
cannot.
they just can't lower blood sugar
Right. Okay.
when you have type 1 diabetes.
Right. But now I found that the majority of people right now have actually type 2 diabetes.
Right.
And the type 2 diabetes is considered like a similar like an autoimmune disease or something on that order.
Well, type 2 is
It's mostly over 20, and they said that they're really looking at people like 45 and certain kind of precursors, overweight, inactive. There's a lot of different reasons when you should start looking at be screened for diabetes.
well, what's interesting is this. When you consume sugar daily throughout the day, the body is always producing this fat-storing hormone, which is insulin. Now, what happens is when the blood sugar goes above a certain level, insulin is released, and what happens is the actual cells of your body have insulin receptor sites. They sense the insulin, and they allow the glucose to be piggybacked on the insulin molecule, right? When the body's producing too much insulin over time, what happens is it's like the cell is like, oh my God, again? And after a while, that system becomes desensitized. So now the body has to produce more and more insulin, which is a fat-storing hormone. So if the insulin or if the sugar is not being used by the cells, then the body will start storing it. And one of the first places it's going to start storing it is in the liver. And then once the liver is topped off, then it's going to start spewing it into the bloodstream. Then it can start attaching to the arterial walls. There's all kinds of things.
Well, that's all about the AGEs also. So
Right,
let's
that's
just break
part
it
of it
down.
also.
So that glucose and protein, because it's an end product, and it just ends up staying in your body,
Right.
and it starts attacking. Attaching to your cells,
Hardening
and,
things.
and making your blood vessels not produce like they're supposed to, flow, and cause not to be able to actually feed your body properly.
Or feed your cells.
Yeah,
Right.
feed your cells.
And
yeah.
also, it also produces inflammation because the glycation product is something that's not recognized by the body.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's sugar, right? So
Yeah.
that it doesn't really like that type of sugar.
It doesn't.
No.
Because
So-
it throws the whole internal ecosystem completely off.
Okay, you know what? We have a phone call, so we're going to take it right now. Okay, hold on. Hello, you're welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. And who do we have on the phone?
This is Leslie.
Hi, Leslie. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you? How are you?
I'm very good. I'm glad you were able to call in.
Yes.
You want to share a story with us?
Yeah, actually, I too am a diabetic,
Oh, okay.
and I was diagnosed. It's been like almost 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got diagnosed, actually, it was through my GYN. Actually, you have to take your test to make sure, before you do physicals, that you're not pregnant or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it said there was a lot of sugar in my urine.
Really?
Yeah, and he says, "Are you diabetic?" I said, "Not that I know of." And I went to my doctor, and sure enough, when they tested my blood sugar, it was 535.
Oh my gosh. That's actually close to what, diabetic coma? You're kind of leaning towards.
400 can
Wow.
be
Yeah.
good. 400 can take you into a diabetic coma. So you must be
So-
superwoman.
So what were you feeling? Were you
Wow.
feeling any symptoms prior to that, or
I was dropping a lot of weight. I had a lot of frequent urination. I was thirsty. I could drink like a gallon of water in a day.
Okay.
And,
And
it just seemed like a unquenchable thirst.
That's because
And sometimes I would get like hives on my arms.
really?
Yeah. And I was hot. I was overheated a lot. And I have a problem with my thyroid, so I assumed that, because that's one of the signs too. So I thought maybe it was the thyroid, but it wasn't. So immediately they injected me right then and there to bring my blood sugar down. And
What did they inject you with?
insulin
Wow. Okay.
right away to try to bring my blood sugar down because I have type 2.
Oh, you do have type 2. Okay. Did you have family history?
Yes, I do.
You do.
On my mother's side of the family.
Okay. See, and you're typical, and you're African American?
Right. And both of my siblings are diabetic, but they became diabetics like in their early 30s.
Really?
I wasn't until I was about 47.
Wow.
About 47, that's when I became diagnosed, and they had 2 types of insulin a day. I had to inject myself twice a day. And I was not comfortable with that, and, I'm like into the natural stuff, and I just didn't want to continue to do that. So I had to like really curb what I ate, portion control, try not to eat anything after 6 p.m. I would substitute all the white products with the brown products like potatoes. I don't eat like yams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I make potato salad, I use the yam to make the potato salad.
Okay.
A commonality amongst diabetics are we have a low amount of chromium in our system.
Okay.
So I went to the health food store and I got the supplement of chromium colinate, and I started to take that.
Okay.
And I went from 2 injections a day to 1, down to taking me off of the injections and putting me on 4 pills a day,
Mhm.
down to 2 pills a day. Now I take 1 pill a day.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
what were the pills for?
What do you mean? I was on glucophage to control the sugar.
So that's not insulin, correct?
Right, glucophage is a form of insulin,
Oh, it is.
but it's the pill form. That's when your sugar is not as bad, it can be controlled by the pill, glucophage. And
So-
it's another name for metformin. Metformin is another name for glucophage.
Okay. So
Yeah.
at this
So they-
point, excuse me, I'm sorry, but at this point, so when you monitor yourself, do you monitor yourself still every day?
Yeah, in the mornings, yes.
And when you monitor yourself, do you find your sugar to be increased, or it's actually at a very consistent level?
No, I'm at a very good level now. Now, my sugar in the morning when I check it, it flows anywhere between 80 and 123.
So why do you still have to do the glucophage?
Because the glucophage is helping to keep it in that range.
Do you think that, or do you think perhaps
Yeah,
because of your change of lifestyle right now that you have,
Maybe your pancreas is working
it
properly and your cells are receiving the
have
insulin.
you been checked recently?
Yeah, and I have, and what I did was I tested myself. I had gone like 4 weeks without taking the pill.
And what
Oh,
happened?
this okay.
In the first 2 weeks, it basically stayed in the same range, and then after that, it went up to like 135, 140, the highest.
And that was after you ate or before you ate? When
That's
you
before I ate.
before you ate. Okay.
Afterwards, it didn't go much higher, but which was weird. But
So your body was actually working.
yeah, it started to work exactly. So what I've been doing is I've been increasing the chromium. I started out taking like maybe one chromium. It's like 800 mcg. I started taking that with one chromium. So now when I get up in the morning, I check my sugar to see what it is, and then I'll take like maybe 4 to 5 of the chromium and one of the metformin, and I'm fine. So even if the next day I forget to take my metformin, it's still fine because I have enough chromium in my system to kind of balance me.
Right.
So I'm working on it. I promised my endocrinologist that, before this time next year, I'll be completely off.
Okay, cool. Because, I know you're taking other supplements too, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Noni,
Mhm.
and I started recently taking the sugar stopper.
Okay, cool. How's that helping you?
So far so good.
Okay,
What I'm
cool.
going to do is like once we hit the new year, I figured I would have taken enough of it. It'll be like maybe 3 months of taking it. At that point in time, then I'm going to test myself by just having the chromium and the sugar stop and no metformin to see what my results will be over a period of like a week. Because it only takes me like 3 days to show a difference whether or not it's going to fluctuate. So I'm going to give myself a week off of the metformin just to see, if it stays balanced. If it does, then I'm good.
Have you made any dietary changes since your initial diagnosis?
Absolutely.
What kind of
I
dietary
made-
changes can you share with
Like
us?
I mentioned, I've changed like the white products. Like I don't eat the white rice because it really, really spikes my sugar. White rice spikes it, and so does ice cream. That spikes it. So I kind of like either have like maybe 2 tablespoons, and that's enough. And my potatoes, like I said, I like potatoes, so I substitute it with yam, and the portions are smaller too. And I find that to be that really, it's enough.
Do you
It's
eat?
enough as far as like food wise. You think, oh my God, if I have one baked potato, that's not going to really be enough because it's kind of small. But it actually is.
It is, especially when your
Yeah,
when
it
your
is.
system
I
doesn't work
increase my
efficiently.
vegetation.
Do you eat more greens?
Yes, I
Green
do.
leafy- okay.
I increase my vegetation. I eat a lot of greens. I eat a lot of collard greens. I eat a lot of cabbage.
How do you fix your collard greens and cabbage?
Yeah, how do you prepare them?
My collard greens, I cook them like you normally cook your collard greens, and I'll use turkey and in it to season. But my cabbage, I steam it just a little bit and leave it with crunch because I don't want to like cook all the vegetables out of it. So I just steam it a little bit. I'll shred some carrots in it, and I'll eat that like that, and that's fine. I'm accustomed to it, and it's not bad.
Can I make a?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I have. This is what I do. Maybe you could try it and see how you like it. I'll take my collard greens, and I'll put a little bit of, just a pinch of seasoning on it, and steam it, and have that crunchy, and that's really, really good.
Yeah, see, they do say
Yes.
the less you cook something, the better off you are.
Right.
So even with collard greens or kale or anything that is fresh, you really should be eating it
Right,
as
because-
as
As is.
Yeah,
yeah,
Because
as
when you-
raw to
Because when you cook it, you kill most of
Yeah.
the vitamins. In
Yeah.
fact, vitamin C dies at 141 degrees. So even if you blanch it, it's going to go above that. And,
Right, yeah, absolutely. However, I do have I do some exceptions. Like my collard greens, I like my collard greens cooked. But some of my other things, I go without. I even have it's a pot set by, oh my God, who is it? Some Salad Masters I had gotten years ago. And it's regulated. What it does, it'll start making a noise. Once it reaches the maximum temperature that you could cook something at before you start to kill everything off.
right, it has that little sensor on top that starts letting steam out.
Right. It'll stop it. It'll start making a noise so that you know that at that point you need to turn it off because it reached that certain temperature. These are like special pots that I bought, some years back for that purpose, so that you don't kill off all your stuff. But for the most part, I do eat a lot of my stuff raw. Like for snacks, I'll take to work the baby carrot.
Carrots have a lot of sugar.
But the baby carrots actually are pretty good for me. I have to watch out for grapes.
You said
Can I say something about the baby?
She said baby carrots,
baby carrots.
baby carrots in that plastic bag. Was it coming in that plastic bag?
Can I say something about the
Wait a minute, Leslie. We're coming to the phone right now. We're going to jump the refrigerator.
Wait. Okay. Now, just Leslie, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you look at the baby carrots, and you look at carrots that come out of the ground, how different do they look?
Well, the carrots that come out of both of them come out of the ground, but
I mean,
big carrots.
Don't
Big
they
carrot.
have a
I'm
baby
just
carrot
trying
tree?
to get it to understand that to make those baby carrots look pretty and to have them shaped like that, they have to go through a certain type of process.
Yeah.
So when that happens,
Actually, yeah.
it's best to just
Get some real carrots.
right.
Really, what they do is the way they
My
the way,
carrots are hybrids.
right. But what they do with those baby carrots, what they do is once you shape the actual carrot that grows in the ground has an exoskeleton, and what they do is they take deformed carrots and they create those little small baby carrots, and then what they do is they inject inside the bag chlorine, because what happens is once you shave the exoskeleton off, it starts to rot.
Scary
So
stuff.
the chlorine is toxic. So you're better off just digging in the ground and getting some carrots, some skin, and scraping it and eating it. I mean, you're on the right track.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously on the right track.
Definitely on the right
You know,
track.
and,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I just want to make a little suggestion about supplementing. The deal is when you supplement, unless you have a lab to check your blood, you never know if you're taking too much or not enough is one thing, but too much can be just as bad as not having it at all.
Right.
And chromium, you can get that in different foods. I'd like to make a recommendation. If you can find foods that actually have chromium in them, what's going to happen is not only are you going to have chromium, but you're going to have other constituents that would help with the absorption of chromium. Because what happens is it can build up at toxic levels in your body, so you just have to be careful with that. Is your goal?
No, I monitor myself as far as watching what my sugar is, and before I take it, I look to read to see what certain side effects are, so that I don't, overdo it.
Right.
But like I said, so far, because I have to be extra careful, because like I said, I have an issue with my thyroid too, so I have to make sure that I maintain a balance. So with the thyroid, I don't take the thyroid medication anymore. What I do in turn is I eat the apple seeds to help to control that, to keep that natural, so I don't have the thyroid medication and the glucophage, in my system at the same time. I'm trying to balance it where I don't have to use all those things. And yeah, you're right. I should use more, vegetables, and the more I learn about it, the more, different types of vegetation that I take. But my body was at a level that I would have to consume so much of that vegetable to get it that it wasn't, that was just too much.
No, we understand definitely why you opted for the pill form, because sometimes you do have to just do that, But at this point, we just want you to educate a little more and try to get some of it as natural as possible.
Right, because what happens is...
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get myself to a level where I'm at a good level. Then I can start taking, just the same as like if you're ill, you don't want to take medication, but in order, natural stuff takes longer to work in your body because it's curing you, not just sugar-coated. But if you're really, really sick, you need to take that medicine to do what it needs to do until you're at a point that you can take yourself off of that and go as natural as possible. It's the same type of method that I'm doing with this. The chromium is getting me onto the level where I'm supposed to be, and my sugars are coming down, and it's beginning to regulate. So at that point in time, I'm weaning my way away from, even though, chromium is a natural supplement, I'm weaning my way away from that, and will begin to intake more foods, because then I can afford to wait for this food to bring it up a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Right now, I can't wait because I'm trying to get myself off of this stuff.
No, we
The more I
understand.
keep that toxin medication in my system,
definitely. Definitely on the right track.
What is your ultimate goal there?
My ultimate goal
Yes.
is to have my health balanced.
Right. So you want to get off of all those medications, correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I've done, I've gotten it down. I've eliminated it to the point that I'm just on the one medication now.
Excellent.
Do you know what the best way to completely resurrect or get rid of your condition? Do you know what the fastest way to do it?
Wait, is it body mechanic?
Yes, this is the body mechanic. And I got my tool belt on and my wrenches in my hand.
Okay.
You know what? I know you love yourself. And to be honest with you know what the fastest way to actually stabilize your blood sugar? What do you think it is?
Well, that may not to jump off of the pill.
No. No. Stop eating sugar altogether. You do it for a week and watch what happens to your function of your pancreas and your insulin levels. They will all normalize. But the doctor's not going to tell you that.
But a lot of stuff, just about everything has some form of sugar in it.
That's not
That's the processed food.
not the sugars that you're talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause see, what happens is when you have, out of the vegetables, carrots have one of the highest amounts of sugar in it. Not only that, that potato, 90% of that potato, if you take it, stick it in a bowl of water, converts to starch, and that starch is sugar.
Yeah.
You know
So
what, Leslie, we're gonna have to say goodbye, and because we're gonna take another phone call, but
Thanks for sharing your story with us.
yeah, thank you for sharing.
And you're on the right track. You're definitely on the right track. It's awesome.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Okay, talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hello?
Hit it again.
They're gone. Okay, so I think it's about time that we take a commercial break.
Yeah.
So
So we got the sugar going on, baby. We're going in. I think my hair is growing.
I'm like, where's the commercial?
Did you want a commercial?
I did.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching, doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
I am Tom Mealy for the Harrison Law Group, and I have been telling you for years that getting involved in an automobile accident is no joke. This is what we do. We're not new at this game. If you've been involved in an accident of any kind, and you go to a law firm that says you have no case, it's simple. It's because they can't do it and they don't get it. You need to call us directly at 1-800-INJURY-LAW.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Thank you.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act One will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
Welcome back to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and these are my friends. Say hi.
I'm a shy friend. Body Mechanic NYC from Body Shop TV.
Okay. And Theater over here. And we have another phone call, so we've been popular
We
tonight.
do?
Oh, yes, we do. Hold
Sugar's
on.
in the house.
Hello, this is Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. Who do we have on the call?
This is Doreen Holland. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Hi. How you doing, Doreen?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad you were able to call in because I know you're one of my experts.
Okay. Thank you for the compliment.
Well, I know that you are an advocate for diabetes because I met you a couple of months ago, and that's your thing. In fact,
Yes, I'm currently a diabetes prevention coach with Jamaica YMCA of New York.
okay, cool, excellent. So I know that you taught your class today. So can you share some points about diabetes? It would be really interesting to get a perspective from an expert.
Well, diabetes is one of the growing epidemics that is happening in America right now and pretty much all over the world. And people get really devastated once they either receive the diagnosis of pre-diabetes or they've been told that they've been diabetic. So a lot of fear and misconceptions, misunderstandings happen once they receive that diagnosis. A lot of people feel like it's the end of the world, but it really isn't. A lot of times they just have to know what changes have to be made in order to balance their blood sugars or to even go back the other way, especially those who are pre-diabetics. They are really have to be educated on what they can do in their lifestyles to kind of reverse or turn back the wheel so they don't cross over to diabetes.
Right.
Those who are diabetic, they really need to monitor what they're eating, their blood, You know, and it's such a big difference between those who are type 2 diabetes versus type 1. Type 2 is really basically based on healthy lifestyle choices, and it can be changed through diet and exercise. Where type 1, it's a little bit more difficult, and that's usually the ones who have to really monitor their blood sugar and take insulin. So there's many different ways that, you know, people can go about it, but they really just need to take a deep breath and say, okay, this is what it is, and what do I need to do now? What kind of knowledge and understanding do I have to have now in order to either reverse or to live with the lifestyle of being a diabetic or pre-diabetic?
So, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So, for someone that's a type 2 diabetic, like, what kind of dietary changes do you suggest that they make?
Well, they basically have to look at what actually got them there in the first place, because nothing just happens. The person came to a pre-diabetic diagnosis based on something that they have done that caused them to get that diagnosis. So a lot of times the first thing a doctor will tell them is, okay, well, you need to either lose the weight or exercise, because everyone pretty much knows now, based on information given through the news, the media, through their doctors, through fitness, whatever you're going to. It's like if you lower your body fat, your chances of crossing over into diabetes comes down greatly. With the program that I'm involved with, the diabetes prevention class that I teach, we just ask people to just lower their calorie intake, their weight intake by 7%. 7% really does a great deal, and you'll find that everything starts to reverse. So it's basically exercising, okay, and then we also have them watch what they're eating. Okay, everyone says, oh goodness, here we go, we have to go back to watching what we eat. That should have never changed from the beginning. That should have always been. So what I do in my class is that I try to make sure that they understand the balance between how much sugar they're taking in and also how much fat they're taking in. So it's basically reducing the amount of fat they're taking in their foods, and also making sure that they're watching the amount of sugar they're bringing in their food. Because we tell them, everyone, okay, you have to lose weight, but there is a balance that has to take place. If you lose the fat, a lot of times the body, of course, is going to start losing weight. But if you swing from one pendulum of eating fat to eating the carbohydrates and the sugar, you have to remember that if you don't burn that sugar, it's going to turn into fat, and then you're starting all over again. So basically the guidelines that we say is, okay, you have to watch what you're eating, okay, lower your fat, watch your sugars, and make sure you're getting active.
Well, I know there's a couple of different trains of thoughts with in terms of fat and sugar, and but it's mostly in terms of the fat sometimes you can take that fat and turn it into lean muscle. So it's not really necessarily because they have the good fats and they have the bad fats. So there's a lot of times.
I'm sorry, Judy, but you're kind of mixing the two terms. Mm-hmm. Fat and muscle in the body is two different things. You cannot turn fat into muscle, and you cannot turn muscle into fat. Fat is a layer. It's an overproduction of insulin or sugars that gets stored in the body. That's what fat is. Fat never turns to muscle. You have to burn the fat to see the muscle.
I may have to disagree a little bit, just a little bit.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you. There is a fat between the muscle, if that's what you mean. But in order for a person to see the muscle, they have to burn the layer of fat off the muscle in order to see the definition.
Well, fat's a hormone system. But my question to you, not to kind of change the direction of what we were just talking about, but to kind of like make it kind of clearer, I think, for people that are listening. What is the problem with, why does the sugar problem happen? Why does sugar continue to rise in the body? What is the mechanism for that? Why does that happen?
Well, unfortunately, sugar is basically found in everything at this
Right.
point, and people are not aware of how much sugar they're actually intaking until they start monitoring what it is they're eating from the beginning.
Right.
And that's what I'm finding, that when I have my students or whoever it is I'm speaking with, it's not until they start doing food journals that they actually realize where the excess sugar and the excess fat is coming from.
Right. But my question is, I'm asking why does sugar go over that preset number of 120, 130? Why does that happen? Does that mean that the sugar is not being utilized by the body?
Probably. I'm not a doctor, so I can't say that's what's happening. But usually, those who are headed toward prediabetes or in a diabetic state, they have insulin resistance.
Right.
So basically, what's happening is that even though they're burning, the body is still somehow resisting burning that excess sugar off.
Right. It's not actually using it, and the body starts to produce more and more insulin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And see, with all those diabetes, then it turns into a lot of different issues too.
Because there are people who are diabetics who are insulin resistant, and they're injecting themselves with more insulin.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a big controversy that's starting to rise as the science is starting to show forth that now doctors are going to really have to work with the patients, and the patients are going to have to be their own advocates in working with their doctors to say, okay, I understand what you're trying to do with my blood and the insulin, but this is not helping me. It's actually making it worse. So we just have to find really alongside the doctors, nutritionists, and coaches, and athletics or whatever, just to find the balance. Because right now, the system is out of balance.
Right.
Are there different kinds of sugars
Oh, absolutely.
that are handled differently by the...
Basically, it's all on the carbohydrates, okay? But then those are the carbohydrates that your body uses, and then there's the added sugars, like the white refined sugars and so forth. And that's the complications that people have when they're looking at the food labels. They're like, okay, well, it says carbohydrates, and then it says sugars, like which one is which? But in actuality, sugars are carbohydrates, and carbohydrates sugars. It's just a matter of the type and the quality of it.
Right.
I have an off question.
You know what? Before you ask that question,
Okay.
we're going to take a really quick break, okay? So can you hold on for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, great. So we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times, patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Welcome back to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee.
And
these
I'm
are my
her friend.
friends.
And I'm Theta.
Okay.
That's
And we still have a call, and I know
Yeah.
Theta, you wanted
Yes,
to
I have,
ask
I have a question for Doreen.
Uh-huh.
I have a girlfriend who is now in the hospital due to diabetes, but she has a complication due to diabetes, is that they have to amputate. What causes that and why? What about diabetes causes amputation of limbs and whatnot?
Well, like I said, I'm not an expert in diabetes, but from what I do understand, and actually having friends who had to have the amputation of legs and toes and so forth, it's basically the oversupply of the sugar in the body that kind of deadens the nerves and so forth, and therefore there's no feeling and
It dissolves it.
It just starts to deteriorate those parts of the body.
Your arteries and your veins and what have you gets
It's
all
like, it's
clogged
literally
up,
like acid.
and your circulation
Right.
does.
Yeah.
It's like acid in the blood.
Yeah, poor circulation, and it just makes everything not work very good. And
Right.
Right.
We want.
Do we have gangrene going on in there? Is that part
Eventually
of
it will.
yeah, ultimately that's when they have
Eventually,
they
yeah.
have to take away.
Because nutrients are not getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Oxygen is not
It's
getting to
dead.
that part of the body.
There's
It's
no,
actually
no blood source
same
whatsoever.
happens to your
And it's
eyes.
dead.
Does the,
Yeah.
That's why people go blind. It destroys the small blood vessel.
Right. And that's what
Right.
they say, the eyes, the hearing, the sensory of your skin, your hands and your feet, and there's so many things that will destroy your body. And I'm going to have to say bye and thank you so much for sharing what you did and added to our show today. I really do appreciate that, because we have like 5 more minutes to the show.
Because it's sugary.
And it just went like that again, So apparently we're going to have to talk about diabetes one more time. This is not going to be end. So hopefully one day you can come out, because I miss you. But thanks again. So we'll do what I'll see you actually tomorrow. So thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys.
Okay, thank
bye-bye.
you.
Bye, Doreen.
So, folks, I can't believe, we're winding down, and we didn't get half the information out here.
But the fight on sugar continues.
Yes, it does.
But we know that what we need to do is change our diet, basically, and learn about what's going on with our bodies, in terms of if you feel certain things going on in terms of you're thirsty and what is it, you're very fatigued. There's a lot of symptoms headaches will actually kind of lead that something's going on with your body, and you listen to your body. You have to really listen to your body. And if you find that something's going on, that's different, you're going to the bathroom a lot, just check it out. Make sure that it's not diabetes. And change your lifestyle. You have to change your lifestyle.
Well, you know what else is interesting is this. I think it's a very simple equation. man did not eat sugar the way he's eating it now.
No.
So
Yeah.
if you consume sugary things in each meal, 9 out of 10, you have a pre-diabetic condition. Understand, every time you take in sugar, if you're not moving and burning it, and I'm talking about burning it out of your blood, it will have to get stored. Once those stores are topped off, now your body's storing it as fat. It's really simple.
You have to use that as
yeah,
fuel.
if
If,
you get
you're not
di-
using it as
If
fuel,
you're not using it as fuel, then it gets stored as fat. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And if you're not active, then you have to be more concerned about what you're eating. Understand, rice converts to sugar. Potatoes convert to sugar. Juices that are not actually in the fruit form convert to sugar. All these things convert to sugar. So if every meal you have sugar, your pancreas is taking a beat down. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
If you get diagnosed by a doctor with a pre-diabetic condition, stop eating it and watch what happens with your body. Just try it.
Yeah.
There are tons of foods to eat, millions of different things
So
to eat.
many things to eat.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize, and you know what? It's really good. But we have to detox. And it's actually because you are really,
That's another thing.
really, what is it?
And that's the show.
Addicted.
Right. It's designed to be addictive.
You
It's
are
just
so
addictive.
addicted.
It's worse than cocaine.
Right,
Oh
it's
my
work-
gosh.
I mean, people talk about drug addicts about cocaine and heroin. If you eat sugar, half of your meals are sugar, you are just as bad as that cocaine using person or that heroin person.
And
Yes.
you know what?
Addict.
That's another subject. And we have, 1 minute to go now. So,
I'm on a sugar rush right
wow.
now. I'm feeling it. My body
I know
mobilized.
I'm addicted. I know I'm addicted. So people will bring the food into my office, and I try
When
to
the food goes,
resist.
D,
It's
sugar
like-
retreat over here.
So frustrating. And like today, they brought cupcakes in.
Did
and
you have one?
I resisted until the last one. I did have one, but I only had one. Now, they had 2 types, and I only had one. But I did have it. Yeah, I did.
But
You got to burn it off.
It's better.
But-
Have me some supplement.
But what is important is that type 2 diabetes can be completely reversed with diet.
Yeah,
It can be completely reversed.
yeah.
You do not have a diabetic condition. What you have is a food abuse condition. And when you stop eating foods that convert to sugar, your blood sugar will start to stabilize. And that's a fact.
Well, we're going to have to wind it up. But if you want some more information, please, definitely, you can call us at the radio, at the madhousetv.com. You can call us at 917-579-5221. And you actually can go to Passion for Life and like us and ask some questions and just share what you saw today. And also go on and research online. It's all out there, so just find out what's going on. So, and we'll be back next week, and we'll be sharing some more. I don't know yet what we're going to be sharing because I just haven't thought that far. But it's going to be good, and so definitely please join us back at Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. Have a great weekend.